Hi, thank you for joining my tutorial how to get that Walking Dead look. If you're like me, you probably think The Walking Dead is one of the best shows on TV, maybe of all time. First thing you want to do is choose an image. I chose an image here of this old beaten down house in Chinese Camp, California. Now to get that Walking Dead look, you really kind of want to already start off with a pretty good looking image, and this looks kind of like somewhere in Georgia where you might see that Walking Dead type of location. So the first thing that you want to do is use the tilt shift blurring effect. Most of the time when you look at the Walking Dead pictures or what they show in their videos, they have a real big blur in the background, so it gives it kind of that nice depth of field. So I use the tilt shift feature available in Photoshop and I really blur it up. After you get that kind of nice look. And the second thing that you want to do is go into your dodge tool, or your burn tool, I'm sorry. And what we want to do is burn the sky and the ground. We want to create a nice dark texture on top. So what you'll see me doing right now is really burning down the top, because you'll notice in the TV show they're always kind of have that really gloomy skies. Again, I'm just doing this very quickly to give you the concept, but you can see when you burn it down that you're starting to get that real kind of gloomy look. I'm going to zoom out so we can darken the skies a little bit better. And I really only am darkening the edges of the photo itself. Then what I do is I use the dodge tool, which is a brightening tool, and I kind of brighten the center just to get more contrast. At that point, the third step that I want to do is apply a high pass filter. So I want to create a duplicate layer on a Mac. I use Command J, and as you can see I have a duplicate layer that's showing up. Now I do is I just apply my high pass filter, and you'd like to use about a 5.0. I click on that, hit overlay, so it basically overlays that high pass filter on top of it. I go and I create the mask. So I add the mask so I can just selectively basically add that mask on top of the parts of the image that I want. I use the brush just to layer in that added contrast. That's a step you don't need to do, so if you couldn't follow that, don't worry, because it's not a big deal. So now I got the image, we're looking pretty grungy, and what I want to do is I went and I got an image off of Shutterstock, and it's this picture of this zombie. Now you can see this lady, I just basically dragged it into the picture and I've got it there. What I want to do is kind of position her. This is again just a total optional feature. I want to drag that image in there of her. On the layer, I want to basically use multiply. For this particular image, you might use darken, whatever looks good when you're going to overlay an image. Again, I'm trying to do this very simply, and I just position it there. I'm going to scale it down just a little bit so it fits more of the look of the picture, and then it's not too large. Click OK, and then I'm just going to layer it down. I flatten the image, so now I've got this image right here. Next step that I want to do is I want to decolor the image. You can use a lot of greens and things like that, but for this I'm just going to completely remove the color out of the picture so that it's a little bit easier for you. Now I've got a pretty good looking image. I click OK, and the third step, the final step, what I want to do is add an overlay, a scratchy window overlay. So I've got one that I again got off the internet. I just did a Google search and got scratchy overlay. I again just plop it right on top of that picture, and now you can see I've got this almost scratched glass look. That's obviously too heavy, so what I want to do is use the screen tool. So I take the screen tool, and now you can see I've got that screened right over the picture. I'm going to wind down the opacity just a little bit there so I can get more of the picture, and there you have it. I've got the scratchy image overlay. I'm going to again layer it down if it needs to be layered down. I flatten the image again, and I may choose at this point, based on how the image looks, to change it up a little bit. So I might even grime it up more along the top and the bottom so it's more contrast there. And there you have it. This is a quick way to get that Walking Dead look.